Today we're investigating the theme and variations for Wind Band, Opus 43A by Arnold Schoenberg. I don't have a typeset score. I have this handwritten score. I think it's original on transparent paper. So, okay, some of it is typeset, but okay, yeah, it's not like sketches, but it is definitely handwritten. You can see it's kind of unfolded and then taped onto larger paper. I guess so the book that it's in is like it on landscape. So you have to imagine that it kind of sits in the book like this, and here's the seam in the middle. So the page is like not quite as tall as the book is wide on two pages, but then you have some sections that are less than the full ensemble, I guess, or it's a reduced score. Yeah, it's more like a reduced score here. So okay, I'm hoping I can still follow it. And then it's just kind of written like that from then on. Okay, what does it say at the end here? Finished July 3rd, 1943, I'm assuming. Uh, yes, score finished April 24th, 1943 or something, or August 24th. So finalized July 3rd, score finished August 24th, Arnold Schoenberg. Copyright 1943, Arnold Schoenberg, 116 North Rockingham Avenue, Los Angeles, 24, California. Okay, Carl Engel, president of Schirmer Publishing in New York, suggested Schoenberg compose this. He believed that the American wind band repertoire should be enriched by a challenging work. He thought that a success in that medium could help Schoenberg out of his financial difficulties. Schoenberg finished writing a counterpoint textbook on June 20th, and then set to work on this piece, which he finished July 3rd, orchestrating it during the next few weeks. Even while the piece was still being written, it soon became clear that the complexity of Schoenberg's setting could possibly exceed the technical capabilities of most American wind bands. On August 16th, Greisel suggested that Schoenberg make a version for symphony orchestra, and then the composer did that, which is the Opus 43B. Opus 43B had its world premiere in Boston, with Serge Koussevitzky conducting the Boston Symphony Orchestra. The wind band version had to wait several years for its own premiere. It seems to have been clear that from the outset, Richard Franco Goldman would conduct the New York-based Goldman Band in the premiere performance, but it didn't happen until 1946 in New York. Uh, I guess Goldman's own military career got in the way. So, kind of an interesting history. I didn't realize it was also an orchestra piece. Yeah, so I get the sense that in the 40s, there was a lot of money in wind band music, but it was very separate from concert music and more associated with the military. And I think it still is in that situation today. And it sounds like Schoenberg was not particularly enthusiastic about the genre, probably because the standard of performance was so much lower than orchestral music. But yeah, I'm interested to hear this. I guess Schoenberg was not doing very well in the 40s financially. Link to a recording is in the video description, and I'll let you know what I think. I don't think I've listened to this one in a really long time, so um, I'll try my best to follow. Yeah, this was definitely a weird experience. I forgot that it was so tonal sounding, and honestly, I can kind of see how it is still Schoenberg. It's very like expressionistic. There's a lot of different turns, twists and turns in the theme itself, in the harmony, and it's just kind of a very weird um, emotional kind of ride all the way through. The theme itself is just kind of very like slow marching. Um, yeah, it was interesting following along with this score because you could see how the orchestration was broken up into different parts, and the orchestration is probably one of the more interesting things about it. The way he blends all these different voices in the ensemble. Um, I imagine it takes a lot to conduct it, just to like balance all these different things. Um, to put this into context, I was writing for wind ensemble in my bachelor's, and my teacher at the time told me to listen to this and the Hindemith wind band piece, which we looked at yesterday. And I can kind of see why they're both like completely different pieces, but they're both like more orchestral composers attempting to tackle this genre, right? And trying to like, okay, what is it? What do I want to do with wind band that I wouldn't do with an orchestra, kind of thing. Um, and yeah, the approach is totally different, right? This one, you're kind of weaving in and out of all kinds of different colors and combinations. The Hindemith, it was a little bit more like using different families of the wind band as a unit. And I think that in that sense, it was a little bit more conventional. Still really hard to play, but this is definitely a lot more unconventional. Um, looks like the Atheist Codger has a guided tour of this piece, so that might be a way to supplement my little cursory um, thoughts on it. Oh, and this is also the UNT Wind Symphony, which is kind of interesting. Some late Schoenberg, some tonal Schoenberg, and I think tomorrow we're gonna finish with some Stravinsky. That's gonna be a wind ensemble piece, not a wind band piece. Um, yeah, I honestly don't have much to say about this one. I didn't find it super interesting. Um, kind of reminds me of Lockenman's tonal departure, which he recently had. What's that piece called? Yeah, his March Fatale from 2020, right before the pandemic. I mean, that's sort of what this reminds me of a little bit. I think maybe this is Schoenberg's making a bit more of a sincere attempt at appealing to wind band audiences, but I think there's still some sort of sarcasm there. Um, so yeah, that's that's that.